Today, we're gonna do kind of a big one. It's gonna be modeling off of that Dungeon Meshi kind of walking mushroom little cute GIF thing as you see here. So in order to do this, we're gonna do a few things. We're gonna model, we're gonna use bendy bones to rig it, we're gonna make a cyclic animation, we're also gonna add some finishing details with grease pencil. So right now we see the reference, which is just this little guy right now, and we're gonna use this to kind of make the main base. So we're gonna do Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and we're gonna do basic subdiv surface modeling. So we just basically add a Control 2 to add a subdivision surface on this, and we can move it on, and we're gonna make just the base. The legs will be separate, but the rest of this will all be one kind of shape. So pull this in, Alt-Z to add on X-ray mode, tab in to this, so we can have the edit mode, and we're probably just gonna extrude and make this little top. So on the top of this, well, first I'll add some loop cuts. So pull down here, keep it on the right axis. I'm gonna scale this in a little bit, grab it up, add another loop cut right about here, scale it out a little bit. I'll say add another loop cut too. Really, we're just following this outline of the shape. It's really quite straightforward. Basically moving and scaling it around. And from here, we're gonna make that mushroom top, push 3 to get on face select, grab that top face. And then we're gonna probably extrude up, scale, extrude again, scale a lot. Something like that maybe. And extrude again. And it looks like we kind of have that top, add a loop cut. So I added some extra fake cuts by accident, not a problem. 1, A, M, merge by distance. Remove those extra vertices in case we had them. And we're gonna just add a loop cut. We have these nice edge flow. Shouldn't be an issue. And we can grab that edge flow by holding Alt and then left clicking. If we click correctly, it looks like we have it. I'm gonna do grab Z, pull it up, and I think we might want to add another, actually. So I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna add another loop cut with Control R, and then I'm gonna grab that here. Grab Z, pull it up a little bit. And now we're getting that little bit of a lip, which looks good. And then grab here, grab Z. Now we get to the top, and we can just grab this. If I can click it correctly, Alt, moving to 2 to edge select. I'm not really getting it, so I'm just shift clicking it to get it. I can actually just select all of it. So go back to X, select the top. We have it all selected. And we can E to extrude, S to scale. And I would say maybe one more. So E to extrude, S to scale. And add another loop cut right about there. S to scale out, perhaps. No, not really. That should go in. Some should go in, scale it in. This one should go out, so S to scale. And then I'll do Alt-Z. Now the mushroom's looking pretty close. I think the main kind of cuteness is this top part right here kind of goes more in, right? So it's more of a hat. We're not really getting that hat vibe yet. I'm gonna increase the subdivisions so it looks a bit better, and shade auto smooth, if I can do that, shade auto smooth. So now it's looking a bit closer. I think it's not fat enough, so let's tab back in. And then let's just start adjusting this a bit more. Alt-Z, I'm just going back and forth. Basically, I'm just trying to make sure this shape is looking pretty close. Maybe all of this can just be brought down. So I'm selecting all of this, G to grab, Z pulling it down. There we go, we're getting a lot closer. Again, just kind of moving things around, just trying to get this to look as close as possible. So basically just moving the points around, having a reference, and trying our best to kind of match it. That's kind of all we're really doing. Mushroom base, we should probably say that. Mushroom base, perfect. And now to do the legs, it's just another little mushroom, but kind of like on a different cylinder. So we're gonna do a Shift A, Mesh, Cube, same exact thing. We're just doing subdivision surface modeling because we're lazy, and that makes it easy for us. So we have it right here. Then again, looking at the reference, it's kind of coming out on both sides. So we'll just assume it's perfectly centered, and then later on we can adjust it. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually pull this now back to the center. We offsetted it a little bit, so we push 0 on that. 0 on this. Now we know it's exactly in the center, which is good. And then we can just work on it and just kind of see what we can do. And we're gonna move around a little bit. I'll pull this out a little bit, grab, I think it's X. Perfect. And then I'm also gonna apply the scale. So I'm gonna apply the scale, Control A, apply scale. Now that's all back to there. Then as we work and start modeling this, we can scale it around and figure it out. The legs look pretty skinny. So this might be okay. And then grab, rotate Y, pull it up a little bit. Orientation's looking good. And then we can just grab this face, which is right here. Grab Z, Z, Z. There we go. Then it's the, so if you grab and push Z twice, so let me show this again. So grab, Z is that way. That's the global Z. And then this is the relative Z based off of the rotation we did outside of edit mode. It's very helpful. But I think we can hide it in the mesh and make the animation look a bit better with the kind of the smearing. I'm gonna grab everything with A, scale in a little bit, get some loop cuts to add some more geometry on the end at least. A to grab everything. Actually, I'll tab out so I keep the origin kind of where it is. And I'm gonna say grab, shift, I think it's Y. Now it's locked in that plane. I'll just pull in a little bit. We got a little leg. Now for the tip of the head of the little mushroom, we can do the same thing. So 3 to get the face select, and then I'm gonna just slow and steady pull it in. And then I'm gonna extrude. Actually, I might pull that back. So grab ZZ, pull it back in, grab this face, extrude again, scale, and then we're gonna want to, I think, extrude again, scale, grab ZZ, pull it back, extrude again, scale, grab ZZ, pull it up, extrude again, scale, there we go, extrude down, and now we're getting there. Scale it in, extrude again, scale, and then we might add a little loop cut right about here and scale it in a little bit. Alt-Z X-ray mode. I want to see the vertices. And then I think I'm just gonna select like this, holding shift, just scale it all in a little bit, grab Z, like this maybe. Alt-Z, how does this look? I want the head to be a bit more further in. Alt-Z, you can see it. Face select, shift, 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 if I can. Hello? Looks good. Grab ZZ, pull it in, Alt-Z, there we are. Add a loop cut here, and maybe even add a loop cut as well right there. And grab this edge, and just scale it out. There we go. Now we have more of a kind of flat surface. It's looking pretty good. It's looking too big overall, that's fine. We can scale it in. And looking at the reference, right, we can Alt-Z to see it a bit better. I think it's looking pretty good. We might want to add more loop cuts inside the actual leg, so the bendy bones will deform well. I would add a mirror modifier. We can hide this pretty far up in there, right? It's looking like we can hide a lot of it. That's a lot of art, is just hiding things, to be honest. Okay, so we're gonna add generate mirror. We're gonna choose this object on the x-axis. We're good to go. We got 2 identical legs. Hooray. We have 2 little legs, grab. So now we need to make the rig. So we have all of this right here, and we're going to now do the rig in order to get this to be working. This is the mushroom leg. Put this in a collection. M for new collection. Let's just say mushroom mesh. Cool. And we're gonna go out of this. We're gonna do Shift A, armature, single bone. Okay, if you're like me, this is very scary. Ooh, rigging, what do I do? It's so intimidating and like scary, you don't wanna do anything. I get it, I'm with you. I don't like it either. But we're gonna grab this down, pull it down closer to the origin. Okay, so first things first, we really wanna make sure we can see the bone. So we go to the data properties of the armature. We see all of this crap. It's very scary. You know, we're armature, here's a little guy. And we're gonna do a viewport display and click in front. Great. Now we can see the bone, which is important because if we cannot see it, it's very difficult to understand. Changing the matte cap view so it's easier to see. So now we have this looking different than this gray right here. For rigging, it's important to have a root bone always. Essentially, it's parenting everything to the root bone. This bone is gonna be the root. So what do? We first tab into edit mode, and then we're gonna select this bone, we're gonna rename it with F2, and we're gonna call this root. Cool. What does this mean? If we move the root, we move the entire rig and hopefully the entire mesh because it's all parented to the root. This is helpful for moving the thing for walk animations and all sorts of things. I am terrible at walk animations. This is actually my first walk animation I'm ever gonna finish. I've done a lot of small like pieces over the time, so I get it. It's scary, it's spooky. To make it super easy too, I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees, because that's the direction I wanna view. Cool. And I'm gonna grab this and move it on the z-axis down so we can see it where it is with the origin. Fantastic. We're gonna grab the bone, select, Shift D, pull it up, and we're gonna rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees? I guess right, hooray, head and a tail. This is the tail, and we're gonna grab this. This might actually still stay as a root for us to bend it for this next part. So it's gonna be small, then we're going to extrude this out up to the top like so on Z to make sure it's all aligned. This one right here is connected, so we're gonna select that, then Shift select, if I can do it, select, then Shift select, there we go. Control P, keep offset, great. Now we see a little parent line right there, right? Good. I guess we'll call this spine. So we'll say mush spine. And then from here, we're gonna do the leg, and I need to know which one's the real one. So let's tab back out into object mode. This is the real one. I guess we should just apply the mirror modifier so that they're both real. So let's go here, mirror, apply. Great. So now there's mesh data for both of them. Great. And I guess if we really wanted to be good, what we should do is undo. We're good Blender users. We're gonna Shift D, right click, and we're gonna say, this is mushroom leg OG, and this is mushroom leg mirror applied. And we're gonna apply the mirror applied one, apply, and we're gonna make a new collection, duplicate collection like this, and this will be backup mushroom mesh. Do this, that way you don't accidentally mess up things. So we don't need this applied data, don't need either of these. This can be now just hidden away, but it's our backup just in case we mess it all up. Back into rigging, click on the bone, tab in, we're in edit mode, and now we can do Shift D to grab it. Again, wrong, because I just was not clicking the right viewport. Shift D, Alt Z to have X-ray mode so we can see. And then we're gonna rotate this. Now I wanna rig the leg. We're gonna Shift D, make the new bone. We're gonna rotate it on the X-axis, I think, the Z-axis, 90 degrees. And we're gonna kind of scale it over and pull it over there. Now, the magic of Symmetrize, this bone needs to be named something correct. Right, so R underscore leg. Great. Fantastic. And then we can just kind of like there and extrude it out. We want it to have a little knee. We're gonna stop there maybe, and extrude again. Then we look at the armature and the bones. Look at this, it's beautiful. It's having it all sequentially done, that's amazing. Now by having the R in the front, it'll allow us to symmetrize and make it easy to only have to do half of the rig. So now we need to make these bendy bones. So we're gonna click back into the little guy for data property. We're gonna click on view as bendy bones. If now all move to the bendy bones. Why are the bendy bones? We can click on here to the bone property and click on the bendy bones and click segments and choose an arbitrary number. Let's say like 15. That looks about right. And then let's say 10. And then let's say 10. Great. We're gonna click this bendy bone, and we're gonna do Control P, keep offset. You have that parent line, we see. Boom, there and there. Great. Just part of it, right click, Symmetrize. And what do you know? It's parented correctly. Hooray, we're amazing. Now, we have most of this done. We're like, wow, we have the rig, we're amazing, we're so smart. So now we need to parent this, and hopefully this will all work out perfectly. Okay, so then in order to make sure that we get this to like work correctly, we're gonna need to make sure that we separate the armature a little bit. My bad, because when we were adding the rig to the legs, it was messing up because it was also weight painting onto the actual mushroom itself. So it's better just to do two different rigs and then combine them in the end. So we're gonna select all of these right here. We're just gonna Shift D to duplicate it. And then we're gonna do P to separate them. So now it's its own thing. So we can call this spine rig. Then we tab out. There's that one, and there's the other one. Perfect. So click back into this guy. Yes. Tab in. X. Delete that bone. X. Delete that bone. Perfect. Okay. Select the legs and hold shift and select the bones. Control P. Armature deform with automatic weights. And we can double check to see how it's looking by clicking on this mesh. In the view, we see weight paint. And we can click through these legs to make sure we're seeing everything look like we would expect. So here, and here, here, and then here. And then Control P, automatic weights. And we click on this, weight paint, and it looks exactly how we would expect. Back into object mode. If we grab this, and grab this. Control J to join it all into one mesh. All into one rig, my bad. If we select this, it should work. Tab back in, and we see two of them. So we can then do is click one and say X to dissolve that. Oops, click, click. Parent it back up. It should be looking good. Grab it all on the same thing. You Control Tab, get into pose mode for suresies right here as well. We grab this, deforming, perfect. We grab this, it's not deforming. So you join these into the same thing. Let's try it again, Control Tab. Pose mode. Okay, it says now it's working as it should. Oh, but this is still edit mode, object mode. Let's go into weight paint. Finally fixed. That was a nightmare. Weight painting sucks. It looks like the gradient tool is helpful just to kind of like pull off the thing completely and then just make sure it's not set at all. Go back to object mode, and then we're gonna go back in, Control Tab, A, Alt R, Alt G. Great. Now we're finally fixed. And let's get back out of object mode, Alt H. We can see, hooray, saving. Make sure I don't lose any of this stuff. Nice. The mesh is finally fixed. This was a solid 20 minutes of back and forth you guys didn't see, but it sucks. It's done. It's finally done. So now we can grab the root and then pull it up like here, rotate like that, grab. It's looking pretty good. And then we're gonna tab into pose mode. Maybe this to be a bit more further out. We'll copy the pose. We'll mirror it, which is really nice. And we'll grab this one out here. We'll grab this here. So it's looking like this might be more like that. Actually, this leg's back. So here, 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 here. There we go. We got one keyframe in, and then we can look at this. Again, we're just kind of copying the reference. That's really all we're doing. And we're making sure we select all the bones. Pushing I to insert that keyframe. Then we can copy it forward. Thanks so much for watching right now. If you're finding any value in what's happening, please leave a comment below. It helps a lot. Please like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Get that in there, nice. So it looks like it's mostly following. Then we can just say all of this T linear. Let's see how this works. And then I think it ends in the last frame. Copy that. There we go. Nice, we got a little foot running. Cool. So then we have this looking good. So now we just have to invert it on the other side. My brain hurts. Okay, so let's find where it's stretched forward. And actually, let's just move these poses to be all the same amount of frames apart to make it easy for us. So let's just do 5 frames for each of them. Boom. That way we really have it clean, and we can change the pacing afterwards. Right click, copy pose. That means this one will be on 5. And we click on this one. Pace flow, pose flipped. Keyframe it. Nice, we're looking good. I finished it up. So it's going back and forth. It's also going to tilt back and forth, so we can go to the Y. And this should be T linear. It makes sense to tilt on this side, because it's tilting there. Okay, so this needs to be tilted back on the other side. So maybe it's like this. There we go, we have it. So we have it all, and then T, linear, Shift E, make cyclic F modifier. Perfect. And we grab these guys. Grab it all, Shift E, make cyclic F modifier. And it's looking like it's running pretty good. I think it's running. This little guy's running. I'm proud of him. So now we know it repeats in 25 frames. So we can do this. So this is the main little effect. And now we get to do, woof, that was longer than I was expecting. That was a solid hour. But I'm sure for you guys, it'll be cut down nice and short. So that's helpful for you. But we're gonna get out of pose mode. We're into object mode. And it's still doing its thing. And I'm happy with it. It's looking pretty cool. Now let's just do a quick little shader just to kind of like clean it up a little bit. So we're gonna add a mesh, plane, grab Z up, maybe like this, scale 10. Let's make a couple things. Let's say tune white. We're gonna do tune shader, so that means we're gonna do a diffuse BSDF. Actually, it can just be, there's no shading at all. It can just be flat. It can just be an emission. And then let's click this color. This is not going to be principal BSDF. It is just going to be an emission. Emission. Here. Here. Perfect. Click this. Get that color. New. Tune red. This. This. Get the color. New. Tune pink. This. This. Get the color. And then tune outline. This. This. And we're gonna get this outline brown. Nice. And we're gonna make this one white. It's a base. And then we are going to do the rest of this. Red, outline maybe, and the pink. Tab in. So the red is gonna be everything else. Let's just do, select these guys, and let's assign that. Assign. Assign. These little booties. Okay. Assign. Assign. Just assigning the colors really quick. Cool. And now it can be going around. And then to do the little spots, there's multiple ways, but I think I might just do them with tune red. I'll just do it with the Voronoi. So you see this? Do this. Object. Boom. And we pull the scale down to like 1 less, like 0.25. That looks pretty good. And then I guess there's 2 different types of tune reds. Top hat red. We want to do, what's it called? We want to do a color ramp. And all I'm doing here is I'm basically just making a mask to darken or lighten the red. So we have this. This is gonna go in here. Make this mask really tight. We flipped like this. It's an okay amount of spots. So if I do this, if I do shader to RGB, and we do a color, next color, mission again. Nice, this will work. This goes into here. This goes into here. You say screen? It should work. Color dodge is what we want. Let's make it a bit more pink. We're clicking this mesh. We're going into geometry nodes. We're gonna do a quick outline. So we're gonna do a extrude mesh. This, not as individual. And we're gonna do a join geometry. Original mesh, this is coming in, this is coming out. I think we're gonna do set material of this. I guess this is gonna be tune outline. And we're gonna do flip normals, I think. Flip faces, perhaps. So the back face culling was what is needed. This is too big of an outline. So there we go. Like this is looking okay now. But it's too perfect of an outline. So let's make it look weird. So we're gonna do set position. Oops. Set position of this. Noise, texture. We're gonna put this in the offset. And we're gonna kind of line this back up. So vector math minus 0.5. And we're gonna scale this. Details down, maybe like 0.2. Whoops. 0.2. And then we're gonna do scale. Maybe 0.2. Is it looking better? Great, it's looking great. I'm really happy with it so far. The outlines on the circles, I guess I could do as well in the shader. We go afterwards, and we just go this. Mute, but it would be added in. And we hit Control-Shift-D, pull this in, add an extra one. Outline, and we want to get it as just the white as a mask. We have a little mask. If we actually flip it, so if this is white, if this is white, and this is black, and this is black, we now have little rings. Oh wait, just kidding. I have the mask here. So then this should just be a mix. And then this can be here, here. That is pretty close. It's moving also, it's not moving with the mesh. I'll just generate it because that's easier. And then that can be scaled down. I think it looks pretty good. So now it's textured, it's running, we have the outline, and then we gotta just do the final little details with grease pencil. So let's just hide this for now. Let's just actually push slash so we can only see this. Grease pencil, empty. This is gonna be grease pencil details. And then we're gonna go into grease pencil, and then we're gonna choose the color. So in the materials, we're gonna add a new one, and let's just say it's outline color, I guess. And this base color should be the same as this. So we select, so kind of bright brown. That's fine, it will look good in the final kind of like image. And then we're in the grease pencil object. We can go tab to be edit mode, and we're gonna go into draw mode. Then we're gonna go into here, and we're gonna draw on surface. And the offset should basically be 0, maybe even a tiny bit off. So I'll say 1 millimeter, so it's 0.001 meters. And ink pen rough, and you can see it's on it, right? So we're still on there, and I'm just gonna kind of draw some of those little details. Oh my bad, so push slash to see what again. And he just has little guys on that side, little kind of lines on that side too. Okay. Back on frame 8, that's where we're seeing everything coming in. Tabbing back in, getting back into draw mode. Cool. Now it's all been drawn. So now we have to do is take this grease pencil and also join it to the spine armature. So if we go back in to Control Tab out of draw mode into back to object mode, we have this grease pencil object. Then let's get to mush spine and Control P, parent with automatic weights. So I think I finished up. When I was doing the grease pencil, I realized that it wasn't the top ones kind of inside the mushroom cap was not like cleanly parenting to the deformation. I gave up on that one and just left the ones that are already drawn on here. That way we can just leave it be. Obviously there's more I could do on this to clean it up, but kind of we were able to do everything. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Augury.